Hey everyone, it's Sevi and I'm back with another video so soon because Genshin Twitter just announced several things, several updates, some very exciting stuff. The first thing is an update on the Genius Invocation trading card game of Genshin Impact. They finally confirmed when it's coming, and in particular it's coming in version 3.3. So they have some flavor text here on the graphics that they provided that the Genius Invocation TCG will be a lighthearted, casual gameplay mode that has PvE at its core. Off the bat, they are saying it's very casual. This is pretty consistent with what Genshin is right now, and from recent interviews, how Genshin seems to want to continue in the future as a casual game, mostly PvE, not really competitive. Now, they did say that the TCG will have a PvP mode, but it's not going to have rewards tied to it. In this graphic in particular, it says travelers can not only invite different characters and NPCs to challenge them to a duel, but also play against their friends for fun. By different characters, I'm assuming they mean playable characters plus NPCs. Those are the ones that you're going to be able to fight and get rewards from, it seems. Challenge your friends, sure, but no rewards tied to it. One thing I do particularly like is that they previewed more art and designs of the cards. So on this graphic, we have art of Magukenki, Ayaka, Diluc, several other characters, and then here we have stuff like Diluc's Constellation, the Skyward Atlas, Crimson Witch of Flames, like Senora, maybe reference to Senora, maybe she's coming back somehow. There's even a Guoba card. I mean, the art style, I'm always impressed with Genshin's art style, but I guess this is supposed to just give us an update on when it's going to be released and then the mode, and just trying to set expectations for us. I myself am very interested to see how the mechanics will work and see if there's any way that I can help out there with regards to guides, but we're going to find out more, I'm sure, when they have the special program live stream for patch 3.3. All right, now moving on to the arguably more exciting announcement of the evening, which is that there has been drip marketing of the new characters of patch 3.3. One of them is Wanderer, who looks very familiar because right now we know him as Scaramouche. What's interesting is that he is not here with an Electrovision. We have very much associated him so far with the Electro element. And seeing him now with an Animo Vision, story-wise, it makes me wonder what happens between this point and 3.3 that will allow him to acquire an Animo Vision. It's very interesting because we currently know him as kind of someone else. We know him as Scaramouche, and now he's being presented as a playable character as a Wanderer. And alongside the Wanderer being announced, they actually also announced another new Animo character named Faruzan, and this is a female Animo character. We don't know that much about her yet. There is also more lore attached to her on her Instagram post. So we are getting these new Animo characters in version 3.3, and when I'm thinking about their kits, my first question is, what kind of Animo character will they be? Because personally, I like to think of our Animo characters in more or less two separate rosters. The first roster is the one with like Kazuha, Sucrose, and even Venti falls in there, which have significant crowd control and also support the team while dealing, their own good amounts of reaction damage. And then the other roster is where Xiao and in some senses Heizo as well lie, where these are damage crit characters who can dish out lots of raw Animo damage, and that's really where their DPS utility comes from. Now, I think it would be interesting if the Wanderer falls into the more Xiao category of things, because we don't have a lot of that yet. And if he falls into the more crowd controller type roster of Animo characters, that would make me wonder how they're going to make him new or different. Like, I know that Genshin isn't really going for power creep at all, but they do want to make him stand out. So that's the first thing I'm wondering about what his kit is going to look like. The second thing, and this is relevant to Faruzan as well, is are they going to be still using the viridescent veneer artifacts. Okay, because let's face it, like most animal characters, with the exception of Xiao, use the 4-piece VV set as their best in slot for team compositions, okay? Because the VV set just has a great effect that allows animal users to not just have stronger swirls, but also shred elemental resistance of enemies, thereby buffing the damage of their teammates. Let's face it, ever since the start of Genshin, that has been the go-to set for animal characters, and for good reason. So for me, it's like, are they going to release a new artifact set that animal users can take advantage of that would be competitive with the VV set, or at least have parallel uses or have its own advantageous uses, so that we're not just stuck with continuing to farm the VV set whenever a new animal character comes out? I would kind of hope that's the case, because even if the VV set can now be strong boxed, I'm just saying, like, at some point, if that's going to still be the go-to for these two new animal characters, then it's gonna get kind of old. I do think that if they're introducing 2 new animal characters, then hopefully something else is going to set him apart. Because right now, our animal roster is very, very solid. I'm going to briefly go back to Faruzan. She seems like a very adorable character. I think that she's very pretty. Her design feels very elegant and sleek. I'm excited to meet her. It says here in the flavor text, if you have failed your mechanics exams and do not dare ask for remedial lessons, you can make your way to Haravatat next door and ask Madame Faruzan for some tips. So honestly, she gives me 4-star vibes. I don't know yet what her rarity is going to be. I really hope that the Wanderer is a 5-star, again, because of his relevance to the story. We don't know much about this one yet. It feels like when we first got introduced to Layla, when Genshin first teased Layla, like we had no idea who she was. Overall, it was just a feeling of curiosity, and oh my gosh, she's so pretty, because I definitely think Faruzan is very, very pretty. I also very much like the design of her skirt. It actually reminds me of the lampshades inside the Sumeru Academia, if you know what I'm talking about. Ever since he showed up in the Falling Stars event, people have been anticipating, like, when is he going to become a playable character? Now, here he is, and honestly, in a pretty unexpected form. I'm still surprised by this. They're finally letting him out of the basement, but not as Scaramouche, rather as the Wanderer. If you guys have thoughts about maybe what the Wanderer's kit is going to be, let me know in the comments, or even questions or speculations about how he's going to get his animal vision. This is so interesting, especially because I have a lot of questions lore-wise, you know? Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, and I'm going to see you all soon. Take care!